Hey everybody, what's up? I'm seeing a lot of people explaining how they feel about the game on a kindergarten level. Regardless if they're saying the game is good or bad, they are crudely exaggerating their feelings and exaggerating what the game is, going in either direction of the spectrum. If there is something you like about the game, pinpoint it, say why you like it, and move on. But don't say, oh, the game is perfect, it's God's gift to first-person shooters, when you haven't even played it yet. Or if there were a couple of things in there that you didn't like, do not dismiss the entire game and say it's complete garbage when you haven't got to play it yet. Because when you dismiss the details, and all you do is generalize your opinion of the game into two different categories, completely good or completely bad, if you do that, the developers will dismiss your comments and generalize them into two different categories, completely good or completely bad. And that doesn't help anyone. It definitely doesn't help the developers. If there are things they should tweak or change, be specific and honest. And those things will have a better chance of being tweaked. But exaggerating things like you're a freaking child doesn't help them at all either. Unfortunately, a YouTuber I really like, and I've been watching for a long time on YouTube, did this. It's White Boy 7th Street. He had all these massive exaggerations on things. One of the exaggerations was all that they showed us was 2v2. That means the multiplayer team deathmatch is probably only going to be 3v3 max. He then kind of backed up, realized how dumb it was. He also stated that this isn't what the fans really wanted. The fans wanted 200-player lobbies, a lot of battle royale type stuff. And then they ended up giving us this small close quarters tactical game mode. This to me doesn't make any sense considering I've seen White Boy shit on the world of battle royales on several occasions, and now all of a sudden he says it's what everybody wanted. And even so, this reveal doesn't mean we're not getting a battle royale, but I digress. He was literally just overreacting, and then when he finally calmed down, the video ended. He also made another video, he went off again, calmed down again. This time the video kept recording. He said what it really came down to, pretty much, was he honestly didn't appreciate how the reveal for multiplayer was just a 2v2 mode. He felt like, cool, you can show a 2v2 mode, but give us more than that as well. And that's understandable. And that's pretty simple. But because of that feeling, him and a lot of other people just went off the rails, which is ridiculous. We are going to get a full multiplayer reveal on August 1st. This, like they said, was just a taste. Now, I also had high expectations, but my expectations were also realistic, and I was open-minded. If you made incredibly specific expectations, if you built a game in your mind down to a T, and then were disappointed when you watched the reveal because certain aspects of the game didn't match your vision to a T, that is your own damn fault. But I'm all about people having their own opinions. I'm all about people critiquing a game. And at the end of the video, I personally do have some critiques, but I'm also an adult. And I'm not going to completely dismiss a game, which in all honesty, does look for the most part incredible, because I would like to tweak some things. So let's get into it. So getting right into things we may have missed. So I don't know if you noticed, but all the weapons so far have coincided with the leaks that we got, and of course the previews, the trailer that we got. So we have the FAMAS, the Remington 870, which is under a code name, 680. They have to use code names for a lot of these things because they have to get the rights to use the names of such. Simtex was in there, MP5, M19 pistol, the Molotov, the AX50, Claymore, Stem Shot, which a lot of people had doubts about, Proximity Mine, MP7, L86, Deagle, AUG. Not only the AUG, but the AUG as a submachine gun. That was part of the leak that nobody was really believing. M4A1 and the M14. So these things were all in the reveal. And one of the weapons, the guy had seen it. The closest thing he could find was like, what, the CZ720 or whatever. Turns out that is the Browning Satori 725. It's under the code name 725. Very similar guns. And if you remember, we had a list of, we had tacticals for your secondary grenade department there. We had the tacticals, we had the skills. Skills were tacticals that were rechargeable. We thought they may be two separate categories because you may have a skill, a tactical, and a primary grenade, but it turns out the skills and the tactical grenades are in the same category. They take up the same slot on your class for your secondary grenade. Now you can see we got an AUG here, and then the next time we see an AUG, it's got a longer barrel. I don't think that's a suppressor. I think it's a longer barrel. You have a dot sight on it, and I'm pretty sure the forward grip has been changed. And then on the AX-50 sniper rifle, the next time we see it, you can see the butt stock is different. I don't know if that just affects your ability to move quicker, like it's lightweight or something, but we luckily got to see 3 different variations of the M19 pistol. We got to see it naked. We got to see it with well, longer barrel, extended magazine, and then we got to see it with a red dot sight and a flashlight on the bottom. And as for the Browning Satori 720, there is a sawed-off version of it. I don't think it's a separate weapon. I think that's a custom, like something you can customize on it, is to remove the barrel. When the match had originally started and I saw that up on the screen, I about crapped my pants because I thought the Rangers were back. But then when they pulled it out and used it, I saw, oh, it's just a sawed-off version of the shotgun I've already seen them play with. Still cool though. We also have the standard Remington, and then a highly modified version of it. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, well, this isn't anything new. We've seen guns with, the ability to be highly customized in the past. It's like, yeah, but most of those customizations were cosmetic. They were like weapons kits and stuff. The customizations for these weapons actually have a purpose. Like, pretty much all of the modifications to this weapon has a purpose. It's not just like, oh, I'll put on a red dot sight and then I'll get a weapons kit to make it look even more decked out. It's like, no, if the weapon looks even more decked out in this game, it's because it is more decked out. They also showed the M14. Now, I was expecting the more modern M14, but this was old school, which actually got me excited, especially when they showed the way that it shot. The kick was insane. They made it loud. I mean, they made it look intense. I can't imagine what it will feel like when you actually use it holding your controller. Now, on to the sniping. A lot of people are complaining that the sniping looks way too similar to Ghost. Now, I don't know if they're just talking about it visually, or if they're talking about the movement going into looking through the scope is too similar, or running with it, or whatever. But I feel like you guys may have forgotten, ever since Ghost, ADSing with the sniper rifle hasn't changed much. So it's not that it looks super similar to Ghost in that aspect, because this is pretty much all the Call of Duty since Ghost. You've got your scope, and then the peripherals aren't blacked out. You can actually see around it a little bit. Some games, it's more blurrier than others. If anything, ADSing with your scope makes your scope bigger. You're way more zoomed in on your scope in this game than you were in Ghost, which I personally appreciate. By the way, if you haven't caught on, those pictures are from 4 different Call of Duties. So please comment below what exactly about the sniping is throwing you off, visually and functionally. And what do you think they should change? Me personally, I don't mind the peripherals being able to see around them. I've kind of gotten used to that over time. I wouldn't mind it going completely black around the edge. I kind of like that aspect as well. But maybe I'm just an old COD player, and I've just lost hope that sniping will ever feel as good as it did in the original Modern Warfares. Maybe I've just settled. But either way, I won't have a full opinion until I actually get my hands on the game. I'm expecting that after August 1st, they're going to announce a beta for the game. So I'll definitely have a full opinion then. But speaking of scopes, they showed a Deagle with a scope, and it was amazing. Also, if you didn't already notice, this map, we've actually seen it before. The photo you saw of the Jaeger Corps sniper in multiplayer that they released before, he's actually laying down in the grass on this map. Now, I feel like each version of these maps that we're seeing, I don't think these are standalone maps. I think these are just portions of much bigger maps, like how they do with Gun Game. I know in Black Ops 1, Every map you did gun game on, if it was larger than medium, they would cut the map in half, and you would only play in a portion. There'd be like barriers and stuff they put up to block you. But either way, I'm really excited about these maps. I think they look awesome. Some things I appreciate is the sliding doesn't look too crazy. Um, the double sprint, it looks like it's serving its function with having a very high positive with a, kind of equal negative balancing itself out. I am finding myself agreeing with a lot of people that the game, the look of it, even though the graphics are amazing, it does look very dark and gloomy. And I did some research and found out, like, from the developing standpoint, it isn't necessarily that they're trying to make games more dark and gloomy to be cool. Is literally from what I've seen, what I've read, what I've watched videos on, is that it helps make the graphics look a little bit better than they are. Not to say the graphics are bad because they're not. It just the darkness fills in the gaps in certain areas, if that makes sense. And regardless, I would still like to see very vibrant and colorful maps or very vibrant and colorful details and scenes like in Modern Warfare 2. Like that color scheme or contrast, however you had it balanced. I do not care if it doesn't look as super, super detailed as you want it. I would really just like it to look in that kind of fashion. Like even the dark and gloomy maps were still technically brighter than the maps here. I mean, I know you're going to have nighttime maps anyways. So leave the darkness for that. Like even in the map where you're out in like broad daylight, I have to admit it looked like somebody like slipped and bumped up the contrast and the black point, and then realized they messed up and tried to fix it by pushing up on the shadow. Like it does look fairly dark and gloomy. In some scenes, areas it works. Most of the time, I couldn't help but notice. It didn't completely ruin the experience of watching this, though. This was still fun to watch. It still does look good. You guys worked your asses off. There are some things in this that look better than I expected. But one more complaint that I'm hearing that I just can't help but laugh at is people are saying, oh my gosh, the character models look so similar to Ghost. Out of all the Call of Duties in recent years, it looks most similar to Ghost. Well, out of all the Call of Duties in recent years, I must point out Ghost is the closest Call of Duty to being in modern times. It's not hard to point out high contrast between a game that takes place around this time that we're in and games that take place 50 years from now. I mean, I kind of got what people were saying, but then I really thought about it and I was like, yeah, no. I mean, maybe if you're comparing it to the first Modern Warfare, where, a lot of the times you're playing as Marines and they're all in, very similar uniforms, and then some of the character models in this games don't have helmets on. They don't have a bunch of stuff on their kit. They've just got like a plate carrier and some ammo and maybe like a tactical top. Um, but considering, there's a bunch of different operators in this game, yeah, it's kind of how it rolls, man. So yeah, out of all the critiques that I've heard, some of them I definitely get. Some of them I don't agree with, but I see where you're coming from. A lot of them I think you're just overreacting because you have so much hope on this game. Anything that might mean this game could suck scares you. Anything that might be leaning in that direction scares you because we have such high hopes. One thing I will say, even though the game looks pretty polished and smooth, I know they got more work to do. That's why I didn't hop on the bandwagon of saying that the graphics look horrible. They look good. I know that they're also going to look better when the game comes out. There's still polishing to be done. But as for like moving around, I do agree with some people that at times it looked clunky. It looked like, I mean, I understand you need to do realism and shaking the screen like you're stepping around. I get that. Uh, but between Call of Duty and Battlefield, that's one of the things I actually did not like too much about Battlefield is yeah, they're trying to be real, but that aspect didn't add to the fun of the game in any way whatsoever. I, along with so many other fans, would appreciate it if it leaned more towards playability than realism on that aspect. Like MW2 or MW3, If the movement felt more like that, I don't think you'd get any heat whatsoever. You wouldn't get much heat at all from anybody saying, "Oh no, it doesn't look realistic." It'd be like, "Oh, thank God, this flows better." But again, I can't have a full opinion on that until I actually play the game. Just keep that in mind. And that's really all I have to say. When more stuff drops, I will drop another video. Please subscribe, please share, please like, please comment, keep the conversation going. I want to see a huge conversation on the bottom. And also, I've almost reached 1,000 subs. That's my goal. We've been pushing hard. We've been getting there. I'd really appreciate if you got the word out. And I'll catch you guys next time.